Good morning, all of you. I welcome you all to the online classes of hydraulics subject. So, today is the first video class in which I will brief you about the topics which are included in the subject, that is hydraulics. So, this is an analytical subject, just like SOM, which you have studied in third semester. So, this subject also includes 40% of theoretical and 60% of problematic solutions. So in this subject we will study 6 chapters. So each chapter will be having 30 marks, 20 marks and 10 marks respectively. So let me introduce you the chapters which are included in this subject. So the first chapter which we will study is fluids, pressure and its measurements, and hydrostatics. So this is the first chapter which will be having a weightage of 30 marks in your final exam. The second chapter is flow of fluids, which is also having a weightage of 30 marks in your final exam. The third chapter is flow through orifices, notches and weirs. This is also having a weightage of 35 marks in your final exam. The fourth chapter is flow through pipes. This is also having a weightage of 20 marks. Fifth chapter is flow through channels, which carries a weightage of 20 marks. And the sixth and the last chapter is pumps and turbines, which will be having a weightage of 10 marks in your final exams. So totally the 6 chapters will be having a weightage of 145 marks. So you people are aware that the question paper will be of 145 marks, out of which 45 marks will be choice, and you have to solve for 100 marks. So today we will be dealing with the first unit, that is fluids, pressure and its measurements, and hydrostatics. So this chapter includes 3 topics, that is the first one is fluids, the second one is pressure and its measurements, and the third one is hydrostatics. So to begin with one by one, so first of all we will deal with the introduction part. Okay, so introduction to fluids. So we all are familiar that all matter exists basically in 3 states, that is solid, liquid and gaseous. So fluid is the common name given to these states, that is liquids and gases. So we all know that matter, that is it exists in 3 states basically, that is solid, liquid and gases. If I give an example for demonstration, so solid, any solid particle, example book or a pen or your mobile phone, this is the example for solid. And when I come for liquid, so liquid in the sense of water, oil, etc. So these are the examples for liquid. And gaseous, the example for gas is air, or what we call as liquid petroleum gas or nitrogen gas. So these are nothing but the different gases which are present in the atmosphere. So all the matter which is present in the atmosphere, this exists basically in 3 states, that is solid, liquid and gaseous. So fluid is nothing but the common name which is given to these states. So fluid means a common name which represents liquids and gases. Okay, so now we will study what are liquids. So liquids, so these are the fluids which possess definite volume and are generally incompressible except under high pressure. Okay, so what are liquids? So liquid, for example, as I told, if we consider a fluid, that is water. Okay, so water, we know that it is incompressible, but what will happen, it will be having a definite volume. Definite volume means, so if we pour the water in a container, so the water will adopt the shape of that container. So that is why we are calling it as the liquid or fluid. It is a fluid which possesses a definite volume and generally it is incompressible. Incompressible means we cannot compress the water or liquid in a container. So but we can compress it only under high pressures. Example, we call it as LPG. LPG means liquid petroleum gas. Okay, so when you shake the cylinder, you can see that some type of liquid will be present in the gas. So that is an example for a compressible liquid. Okay, so next definition is gases. So gases, These are the fluids which do not have definite volume and are compressible. So gases means air, carbon dioxide, nitrogen gas. Okay, so these are nothing but gases. So these gases, they will not have any volume. So volume means you cannot pour the gas in a container. So that is why these gases, they do not possess a definite volume and they are compressible. Compressible means, example, so liquid petroleum gas, it is a gas, so you can compress it in a cylinder. Next example is oxygen. You can see nowadays we are using oxygen cylinders. Oxygen is nothing but a gas, so that also can be compressed in a particular shape or size of a cylinder. So gases are the fluids which can be compressed. Hope you have understood the difference between liquids and gases. Okay, so liquids and gases, these are nothing but a type of matter, and the common name for these two is a fluid. Okay, so the next topic is fluid mechanics. So what do you mean by fluid mechanics? It is the branch of science which deals with the behavior of fluids, either liquids or gases, at rest as well as in motion. So what is fluid mechanics? So fluid mechanics means it is the branch of science which deals with behavior of fluids, whether the fluids may be liquids or they may be gases. So whether they are in rest or in motion. Example, so if I consider a liquid, say water, so in fluid mechanics what we will do, we will study the behavior of water when it is in rest, means when the water is in standstill position, when it is not having any flow or any velocity. So what is the behavior of water? And the other thing is when the water starts flowing, so we will study the behavior of water. What type of behavior will be there? What will be the changes in the liquid? So that study is called as fluid mechanics. And this fluid mechanics is classified into three parts, namely statics, dynamics and kinematics. So fluid mechanics means what? It is the branch which deals with the behavior of fluids. So fluids, they may be either in the form of liquid or they may be in the form of gases. The common name given for liquids and gases is nothing but fluid. So when we are studying the behavior of these fluids, that is liquids and gases, which are under rest or in motion, so that study is called as fluid mechanics. And this fluid mechanics is classified into three parts, namely statics, dynamics and kinematics. So one by one we will study. The first one is statics. The study of incompressible fluids under rest or static condition is called as hydrostatics. So here the word statics means any body or any matter which is under rest, means it will not be affected by any force, or it will not be having any motion. So it will be at the same place where it is. So that condition is called as static condition, or the body is called as under rest. Example, if I am sitting on a chair, okay, if I am sitting on a chair, I will be sitting on the chair until and unless I will be acted by any force, or someone tries to pull me or someone tries to push me. So until that condition, what will happen? I will be sitting on the chair. So that is nothing but I am in a static condition or I am under a rest condition. So that study is called as hydrostatics. So here hydro means water. Okay. So the study of water under static condition, that is under rest condition, is called as hydrostatics. And the second topic is dynamics. So dynamics here means it deals with the fluids under motion and the relationship between velocities, accelerations of fluids and energy causing such motion. So the next topic is dynamics. So dynamics means it is the branch of fluid mechanics which deals with the fluids which are under motion. Static means it deals with the fluids which are under rest. Here dynamics means it deals with the fluids which are under motion. Example, when the water is flowing in a river, or when the water is flowing through a pipeline, or when a gas is flowing through a pipeline. So what will be the behavior? So we will study that behavior, and also what is the force causing the motion. That is when we are applying the force, what will happen? There will be velocity of water. So what is the different type of velocity, with what acceleration the liquid is flowing, and what is the type of energy which is causing the motion. So these all studies are called as dynamics. And the third classification is kinematics. So kinematics means it deals with the translation, rotation and deformation of fluid elements without considering the energy causing such motion. So here kinematics, here what we will do, we will study the translation and rotation and also the deformation. Means when we are applying energy to the liquid, okay, when we are applying, for example, say I will be sucking the water from the sump tank by using a pump. Okay, generally what we will do, we will lift the water from underground tank to overhead tank. So that time what we will do, we will use a pump. So by using pump, what we are doing, we are pulling the water from one end to other end. One end we are pulling the water and the other end we are pushing the water outside. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are applying translation and rotation. So due to this translation and rotation, there will be deformation in fluid elements. So what will happen, the elements of fluid will be deformed. So here the branch which deals with the study of translation, rotation and deformation of fluid elements is called as kinematics. And in this kinematics, we are not considering the energy. So what type of energy we are applying, whether it is tensile, whether it is compressive force, so these forces will be neglected. So such type of study is called as kinematics. So hope you have understood the classification of fluid mechanics. Let me brief you once more. So fluid mechanics, it is the branch of science which deals with the behavior of fluids, which are, so fluids, they may be either liquid or they may be in gaseous states, and these liquids and gases, they may be in rest or they may be in motion. So fluid mechanics, again it is classified into three types, that is statics, dynamics and kinematics. So statics means the study of incompressible fluids which are under static condition or which are under rest. So dynamics means it deals with the fluids which are under motion. So the fluids which are not under rest, which are under motion, that is there will be a flow or they will be possessing certain type of velocity and acceleration. So that type of study is called as dynamics. And the third classification is kinematics. So kinematics means it is the branch of fluid mechanics which deals with the study of translation, rotation and deformation of fluid elements without considering the energy causing such motion. So this is about the introduction to fluids and fluid mechanics.